that continues to evolve. And that's why we have Julie Kay to help us navigate everything in the political realm, and not only in Charlotte, but also in the state. Julie, thank you for your time.
You always start to laugh when you introduce me.
Because
stuff keeps happening.
Stuff keeps happening. And one of the things that keep happening is things within Charlotte City Council.
Sure.
Krista Bokhari. Mm-hmm. I think people are familiar with her, but just to give you an idea of what she does. So she was the wife of former Charlotte City Council member Tariq Bokhari, but also, and I just learned this, I didn't know she was a former North Carolina House candidate at one point.
Correct.
But she has filed for the District 6 seat.
Yeah.
And you caught up with her. What did you guys talk about?
Well, we talked about a lot of things. It was kind of course, as you mentioned, she's a familiar face. She's not held office before. Mm-hmm. This would be, if she's elected, her first time in office. But she's been involved in a lot of these big discussions, especially about Charlotte City Council. Mm-hmm. So she mentioned 3 things that we can get into that she's making a central part of her campaign. Public safety, transportation, of course, and then she mentioned transparency. And that's where this kind of all comes to a head. You mentioned Tariq Bokhari. Her husband had filled that seat until earlier this year. He left to join the Trump administration. He and their children joined her to file today. She had a big group of friends and family there watching her sign all the documents. But that is what makes this seat interesting. She says, all this stuff that happened with City Council, the payout to CMPD Chief Johnny Jennings, kind of the drama over transparency and the reasoning behind that payout happened weeks after Tariq left. So she said explicitly, if Tariq was here, I don't believe any of this would have happened. So if I'm elected, transparency is the #1 goal for making sure stuff like this doesn't fly under the radar once again.
And you talked about it. You laid it out, a few things that you hit on, one of them being public safety. What specifically did she talk about as far as public safety? Well,
I mean, she mentioned this weekend in Uptown was a prime example. Unfortunately, another example of reasons that public safety needs to be a top priority for Charlotte. She said she wants more, kind of on that same vein of transparency, more answers from our leadership. She said, I want to talk to this General Assembly at the state level. I want to talk to our DAs at the county level. So it sounds like she kind of wants a more oversight throughout the Charlotte government system. And this weekend, the violence there, unfortunately, another example for her.
Let's hit on transit. Yeah. I think that's another contentious point.
Speaking of, yeah. So those and the things that she mentioned, of course, are the things that I keep coming back in here to talk about because they are some of the biggest things that people have opinions on either side. The transit tax, of course, the 1 cent or 1% sales tax that is going to be up most likely on the ballot come November for Mecklenburg County residents. That is going to be a huge piece of this discussion. Of course, right now it's going through the county system, so I did get it confirmed that the county Board of Commissioners is going to speak about that and hopefully pass on the language to the Board of Elections by August 6th. Board of Elections tells me as long as it's in, before they start printing the ballots in September, they're good to go. So that is going to be something that Charlotte gets to decide. But she said we're talking about billions of dollars worth of economic impact and hundreds of dollars for Charlotte families that they're going to, potentially be losing each year to go towards this transit system. So she said, once again, oversight on how that money is spent and, of course, making it equitable for every piece of Charlotte, which is stuff we've been discussing this whole time. I think it'll be interesting to see what every candidate has to say, especially in those districts that have been, potentially left out of pieces of the transit plan that aren't getting the same, red line expansion, aren't getting light rail versus bus. So it'll be interesting to see. Of course, we've talked about this a million times, but she's now got 2 challengers officially already, and there's still a few more days left of filing. So interesting to see what people will say.
I was about to say, we got a few more days, more filings happening. Julie, they're keeping you busy. Is there any other points before I let you out of here that we missed that she addressed?
No, I don't think so, but I'm glad you mentioned other filings. I'll probably be back here again on Wednesday and Friday, which will be our last day of filing. It ends at noon. Wednesday is when we expect Tijuana Brown to refile in District 3, and that's also when we expect Mayor Vi Lyles to file. They're both going to have challengers already. Tijuana Brown, of course, that's interesting because of the federal indictment. Yeah. She won pretty explicitly last time. She didn't really have a hard time. It'll be interesting to see if that federal indictment changes the way people turn out for her. And then the mayor, of course, former mayor Jennifer Roberts is floating a run potentially against Mayor Biles.
That post on X was very cryptic.
It was.
Yeah.
I think the level we're at now, she's considering it. I have not. I mean, her name's not on the list of people who have filed already.
Yeah.
So we shall see, but definitely makes those in particular interesting. So I'd say Wednesday and Friday are the big days to watch.
This is why we have Julie here, breaking it all down, sorting it all out. I'm trying to figure it out, but we have Julie here, so I think I got everything.
Yeah, get registered.
Out. Get
That's
registered.
my last thing.
Julie K, thank you for your time. You're going to be in all the newscasts, I feel like, this evening. What, 4, 5, and 6? Or?
Don't manifest that.
Okay,
for me.
okay. I'm sorry.
Don't give them ideas. 4, 5, and 11, actually.
4, 5, and 11. Julie K, you can catch her on WCNC Charlotte and here on WCNC Plus. Thank you for your time, Julie.
Thank you very much.